Welcome to Here to Initiate, a podcast for manifestors, leaning on the concept of human design. We manifestors are 9% of the population, here to initiate, and it is time for us to rise. In this podcast, I, your host, Julia, want to bring a missing link to the marketplace. Having been a mentor and coach since 2018 and learning more and more about being a manifestor myself, I now, with this podcast, want to specifically support manifestors. With my brand Luxury Goddess, which is all about female remembrance, embodiment, and empowerment, I have served thousands of women already, and I now want to specifically support manifestors as well. I invite you to fully step into your peaceful, powerful self as a manifestor. Let's become who we came here to be, shall we? Hello, beautiful manifestors, to a new episode in which I want to explore a little bit the waves that we as manifestors have, especially between the rest phases that we have and the urge phases that we have, and of course everything that we could feel and what could happen, but still that is what I want to focus on. And if you want to specifically listen to an episode around your urges, then you could listen to the episode that I released November 26th, 2023, honoring your urge and the clarity that comes about it. But today I really want to look at the cyclical ways we manifestors are and the phases that we have, and really understand or explore, contemplate how we go about those most natural and how we're happy with them, right? How we feel peaceful with them, especially. So every manifestor, regardless of the authority and all the other differences that we can have, for example, in defined and undefined centers, we all have these urges where we are so creative, where we have a lot of energy, where we can go for hours or for days. I mean, we still will sleep, but we still have this energy. And then we will have the phases in which we just want to rest, in which we do not have that kind of energy, in which we do not have these urges. And of course, if you have a usual day in which you have a certain routine, like your all day life, right? Because you might still have, or you might have a job that you go to every day, then of course you are used to feeling your energy according to what you do. But what I'm referring to is really this natural flow of the manifestor energy, which even though you would, like for example, you would have your daily routine of waking up and eating and showering and going to work and coming back and stuff like that, you would still feel that on some days you have these urges, you have these ideas, you have like something coming through, and you feel this excitement, or you feel this energy, you feel this rush of energy, and or you would rather feel more introverted or more like wanting space for you and wanting to rest and sleep more. So either way, if you, like me, have your day most of the time totally for you, and you can see what comes through and not, and that is even perfect, because if you're like me, an entrepreneur, then you can really look at the urges you have and go about them, and the rest phases you have and sleep, right? I mean, I do have a few life sessions that I do, but mostly it's not more than one a day, and that I'm always happy for. That always brings me peace, because that always fulfills the big vision that I have. And so that never feels wrong, but it doesn't really require me to bring a lot of energy, because it's just, that is who I am. And so that is not a big deal, but it would be different if, if I was to try to have the energy that I have in a creative urge phase when I actually am in a rest phase. And so I want you to really look at those distinctions between those two phases. When do you have the urges? When is there creativity? When are there ideas? When is there a lot of energy for you to go and do and, like create or explore, like depending on your lines, of course, as well, on your centers, but also on your lines, really, like how do you go about things, right? Do you research, do you try out? Like, well, how do you go about things when an urge comes through? And then also when it definitely does not, right? Like how do you feel that, first of all, right? How do you feel that that there's a rest phase? How used to and how loving are you to yourself to then really take a break and or sleep more? So for me especially, it's really then sleep. It's really simple. I'm going to sleep 9 hours plus. Whereas on a usual night, I would need my 8 hours, 8.5 hours, basically, to really be rested. But then when I feel like I was in an urge or I had a creative urge and I moved through it, doesn't matter if 1 to 3 hours or more hours, or like basically feeling that it was a few days and I needed a little less sleep and there was all that energy and then it falls, then I definitely need even more sleep. I need like 9 to 10 hours. I really need that good sleep where I really sleep in as long as I want to and actually wake up and I really don't want to lay in bed anymore, where I feel that that was the rest phase that I needed. And even when then I go about my day, I might not feel that same energy because I'm not in a creative urge. So I would look at, okay, how what is always great for me? For example, recording podcasts is always great for me with my defined throat. That never feels like I need a creative urge to be there, to feel peaceful about it and feel good about it, right? But then if it's actually about creating something, then no, I can't just do that on a day where I don't have a creative urge. That would be overwhelming myself or like going over what I actually want. That would be denying my actual needs and the actual phase that I'm in. And so it's really, really cyclical, right? And as a woman especially, we have our cycle. We have the moon that always influences us because it just does. Like most of our body's water, and the moon, is responsible for the tides. And so, of course, it influences our water, our body, us. And then also our menstruation, our feminine cycle, right? We have those phases. We have more energy when we're around our ovulation, and we have a lot less energy when we're around our menstruation or before. And if you're like me, an emotional authority, which you can go back to the last 3 episodes to check out your authority if it's completely new to you or just you want to, have a reminder. And if you want emotional authority like me, then it is even another cycle, another wave thing that you have, right? Because as a manifestor, you already have the waves of rest and urges. You already have the waves as a woman of the moon and the cycle. And if you're an emotional authority, you on top of that have the waves of the emotions, right? So either way, as a manifestor, we have these waves. We're super cyclical. And we can get so much done in those creative urge phases. So much. Either because there was anger and you're transforming it into peace by using that energy to clean up or tidy up or do whatever. Or you have that urge hitting through your head, basically, right? Through the centers, and something comes through, you downloaded it, you just spoke about it, and like it hit you, and you have all that energy, right? Either way, you feel all that energy moving through you, and when you are in that urge, you get just the same done as a generator would in his 8 hours a day, or a manifesting generator would in his 8 or 10 hours a day, and as a projector would in their zone, right? So we all have a sweet spot in how we have our energy, and we all can get the same done, like the same done meaning in what we are supposed to get done, right? What our role is here on earth, not meaning like we can get the same done like overall, because we're not measuring an elephant and a snake and a tiger and another animal for the same task, right? We're really looking at an elephant as an elephant and a snake as a snake, and they all have different genius zones, and it's the same thing for us energy types. And so, yeah, that's really what I wanted to share with you, that you really want to look at those phases, and I invite you to really feel into what phase you are in. And it could be in one day different phases. It could be just like we have, our hours of being so active, and then we have a break that we really need to take the break. That would be a rest phase, a small one. And then you have energy again to be creative, and you are in the urge phase or in the creative phase. And then you would wind down and are in the rest phase, and also when you sleep as well. And that would be like your usual day. But then how can you feel how differently it hits? And if there was like a few more days in a row where you just really need rest, and also a few more days in a row where you really have those urges coming through. And for me, when I didn't know yet that I was a manifestor, I really judged myself oftentimes when my urges came through at night, because then everything is still, people are at bed, even my own family maybe is in bed already, and I have this space and this calmness that I can use to really feel into what comes through. So I loved that, but I was judged myself. I was like, if I am doing a feminine business, I should not be working at night, because, we don't want to promote hard work. Where today I'm thinking, why was I in this spiritual, like in this feeling of I should, being spiritual is this way, or being feminine is this way, where really it's feminine when it's true. Because feminine, in the end, is feminine force is life force energy, and it moves through you the way it moves through you. It comes to you at whatever time it comes through you. You feel angry, you feel this, you feel that. It's all life force energy. It's expressions of aliveness. And so we want to honor all of that. We want to honor that whatever comes through at whatever hour it does. It can only be wrong if we want it to be linear, if we want it to be very masculine. And that is actually that is such a feminine thing for us manifestors, where we are as manifestors so feminine if we trust into the phases, and trust into the flow of energy and creativity and things coming through and clarity coming through and urges coming through, right? So it's really moving with Shakti, femininity, life force energy, and trusting that it's all perfect, that we are not generators, not manifesting generators, not necessarily charging overnight our sacral and then full power being able to go again. We are different in that way, right? And so we want to honor that we're all different in this way, where, for example, we're, lions and the others are elephants and snakes, and so we wouldn't compare. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't, right? So you want to look at this very feminine flow of the energy and the way it's cyclical. And as a woman, you will also really want to look at your feminine cycle and the way it moves with the moon, and the way you as a manifestor move with the cycle and the moon. And then with the emotional authority, even those waves, right? So you want to look at all of that and feel how feminine it is, and really get to know yourself even better, accept yourself even more, like love all the ways and all the phases, because this is what's there. If you're fighting against them, you're going to be more tired. You're going to be more tired. And if you're really fighting against them and going against them, you're also going to feel anger, because you're not going with your alignment. You're not going with peace, right? So that's cool. And then also the last thing to say before we end today is then also again and again and again, you want to look at your strategy, you want to look at your authority and the alignment. So you want to look in the self, right? Which is peace, informing, and then your authority. And so you want to inform. You want to inform, you want to inform, you want to inform. You want to let your people know, you want to let your family know, you want to let, your workplace know the way you work best so that they get the best results. It wouldn't be about, I have to work less when I'm in my rest phase, so, I'm not coming to work that day. Like, that's probably not the communication, but the communication could be, I get the same amount of work done as other people, just I have to be on my own timeline energetically, or my energetics, and can you trust me on that? Can I work remotely? Can I work from home? Can I, what options are there? And of course it totally depends on where you work, if you work in a workplace, but still, that is just giving you an example of how it works. And of course, in a team at work, you wouldn't be one of the worker bees. That would really be the generators and the manifesting generators. You are the CEO, you are the coordinator, you're one of the people to give the ideas and to give in the clarity and to manage people, because that's your role as a manifestor. So the last thing is informing, right? So it doesn't have to be the clarity of the urge coming through that I inform about. It could be I inform my family that right now I have a lot of energy, we can get all the things done, or that I definitely need a break, or for example, my family, my husband and my son, they know that when we already spend a few hours together, like in the morning, and had lunch together, and then they want to do something in the afternoon, they know that most of the time, or depending on which phase I am, they know that I need my sweet time, that I need my break, that they, as a generator and a manifesting generator, can go out and do all the things, but I'm out. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to rest. I'm going to be in my own field to feel myself. And I'm going to speak, and I'm going to dance, and I'm going to be creative, and sometimes even just speak with myself, because I speak myself into clarity with my defined throat as an emotional authority, of course, right? So speaking myself into clarity, because I'm not clear in the moment most of the time, because we don't have an authority, a clarity in the moment. That's what literally, like, the definition of an emotional authority is, as one of those, right? And so that is a great way to inform your family, to let people know, like, this is how I am, this is, how I work, this is what's good for me. Like, it never has to do anything with you. If I don't want to spend time with you, it's just I need my space, I need my breaks just for me, right? Like, just let people know, inform people about the way you are, everything that you find out about you, how you work, how your rest phases, your pauses, your urges work. Let people know, so they know, they can get to know you, they know how you are, they can respect, accept, and best case scenario, support you in that way. So that's all I wanted to share today. So overall, it's really an offer to explore the phases, and especially the rest in the creative urge phases, the energy, when the energy is like a lot, and then also when it's less. And then, of course, connected to everything that we have as phases, all the feminine ways we are cyclical, and of course bridging that as a manifestor with your authority, and with informing people about what you know about you that could help them to relate to you or interact with you. And then always looking for peace. How do I feel peaceful about it? How do I feel peaceful? How do I feel peaceful? And for me as a manifestor, always, and for me it feels like a rule of thumb for manifestors, but please feel into this if this is the same way for you. But for me, it really is, I do have energy when I am with myself. Like, I noticed when I'm with my family and we're going food shopping, and then we're going to another meeting, and then we're going to the bank, and then after that we're going home, like, I'm drained, because it's just so many interactions and so many stimuli, so many things that happen, that smell, that I can hear. It's just a lot then. Whereas when I'm alone in my car, for example, and I go food shopping, and I go somewhere else, and I go to the bank, I usually don't feel as drained, as if there was even more people that interact with me, or things or sounds or whatever it may be that interact with me, that come into my system, and I then have to deal with them. So just really knowing yourself and getting to know yourself understanding that as a manifestor, you do need to be in your own field. We are on our own timeline. We do need a lot of space, and we do need to focus on peace so that everything flows, and not try to be a manifesting generator or generator with really like go time, of course, when there's joy, but still, right? For us, it's really, really, really honoring the rest phases, honoring the breaks we need. And so I hope that this all serves you a lot, that you explore even deeper, that you observe even more how you work best, that you let your people know, that you inform, and that you look for peace always. I hope this served you today. And I'll catch you next time. But letting you know, informing you that I probably will end this podcast as well, just because I want to start one new one that is so big in the message itself. I really want to, make sure that I use my energy wisely and not to do too many projects at once, because we're not manifesting generators. So I want to look at, I have a mission. We're doing this one podcast. Let's go. I do love this podcast. I do love working with you manifestors. I do. But I want to make sure I'm really mindful about my energy. So if you want this podcast to continue, please let me know. And also let me know what topics you would like, so then I can feel a little more with my emotional clarity, emotional authority, what feels right, and if I want to continue a little longer or not. So let me know, give me feedback. But overall, I think, we will bring this to an end. It will stay online. You can go back, and if you want to work with me, we can work together. We can find out how we can work best together, what offers I have, or what we can do together. I would love to do a manifestor mastermind one of these days, where we come together and look how we can change this world. Something like that would be great. But anything that you want to feedback or ask me, let me know. And then we see how this all continues. And until then, I'm sending you lots of love. Bye-bye. This was today's episode for you as a manifestor in the concept of human design. I hope this episode and whole podcast serves you. And if it does, I invite you to leave a 5-star review on iTunes, or rank the podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you listened, and or subscribe, comment, or share, whatever feels right to you, so we can spread this for all manifestors to hear and rise as one. Thank you from one manifestor to another. I deeply appreciate you rising, and I look forward to catch you next time. Always remember, you are here to feel peaceful. You are here to initiate. Remember to always inform peacefully. You are so powerful. I see you. You've got this. From one manifestor to another, yours, Julia.